Hi, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge table lamp called the Forged Leaves round base. So I have one right here so we can check it out and get into lots of little details about it. So there's also a companion floor lamp for this, and that's going to be the 246761. This is the 266760. So you should check them both out because they're both pretty cool. So let's bring it over here and check it out a little closer. So I'll take the shade off to begin with, and it's basically a table lamp. Now the cool thing about this is these leaves have been made by the same man at Hubbardton Forge for almost 30 years, and now that he's starting to retire, they're teaching his son, his actual son, how to make the same exact leaves, so it kind of keeps going on. So it's a really interesting thing over there where you're going to get these generations of craftsmen kind of going through. Let's get into the height of the fixture itself. 26.4 inches to the top here. When they talk about the diameter, it's going to be the shade itself, and that's 15 inches. The weight is 3.6 pounds. The footprint on this is coming in at 8 inches, right down here. It's got felt on the bottom, so you're good to go there. Dark cord, just like you expect. Let's hop into the shade for a second. So it's going to be using Hubbardton Forge's natural white Anna shade, which is a true white. It's not going to be a cream, it's not going to be a gray, it's a true white, which makes sense to when you're working with these pieces because you want the top to be neutral and you want all of your attention to kind of come down here. Plus this will let the most light out too, and that's kind of important. This is 15 across the bottom, 6 inches across the top, and up the slope it's 10 inches. And the inside of this is white. It's a white plastic because the whole point of this is it's going to reflect this light out, and that's what you want. But it'll still let light through too. So let's get into a couple other things. It's going to be using a dimmer in the socket itself, and I have another one here, so you can kind of hear it click on, and then it dims up, and then it clicks off, and there you go. Pretty simple. And then there's also this little guy too. This is the finial, and this is going to go at the very top of this. It's going to keep your shade in place. Okay, we'll put that there. Now let's talk about what you can get out of this as far as light, because that's why you're here. You can go up to 150 watt incandescent if you still want to do that. It's kind of hard to find those bulbs now, and traditionally those 150 watt incandescent bulbs were three-way bulbs. This has got a dimmer. This is not a three-way, so this is a straight on, straight off, and dims. Remember that. So when they do give you that limit for 150, it's because of the heat that's going to be generated by a bulb. So that's the max heat that can come out of this. Now when you look at this, this is the harp. You can see that there, and it actually comes off. It'll be off when you get this. The bulb that you can put into this is called an A19, and that comfortably fits in here. And you know what? I'm going to take this off, and I might be able to get an A20 in here too, which is slightly bigger. So, but the recommended bulb size is this is an incandescent, and this is an A19. We all grew up with these bulbs. This is an incandescent one, and these are generally found up to 100 watts, not equivalent, because that's an incandescent. But when you get into these guys, they're LEDs, and these are what you can really use in these and make a big difference. This is kind of a traditional one that we've all been seeing for a while. These are the kind of newer ones. They're called phosphorus ones. So these are the ones with little pads running through. And these are all three of these are A19s. So I found this one at Walmart in Rutland, Vermont, of all places, and I found it in 150 watt equivalent, which means that's still pretty bright, and it fit in perfectly without any problem at all. Put it in like that, and there's still a lot of room in this harp. So again, I think you might be able to sneak in an A20. Let's see if I have an A20. So this is either an A20 or an A21, and your only limit when you get into LEDs is, can I get the bulb into the fixture? Okay, so this is actually making it in. You could use this if you want without a problem, and I could probably easily find this 150 watt equivalent. I might be able to find this bulb up to a 200 watt equivalent, which means you can get a lot of light out of this lamp if you need to. These bulbs are going to be offered to you in a lot of different ways. They're going to offer them to you in something called daylight. Daylight sounds like these should be warm, a warm light, but it's not. That's that blue-white light you kind of get out of a hospital waiting room. That's going to be 4,000, 5,000 on that Kelvin scale. They're also going to offer these to you in something called 2700 Kelvin, and that Kelvin scale kind of goes from 2700 Kelvin up to about 5,000. The 2700 Kelvin is going to be super yellow, like a setting sun. Could be pretty in this, but you know, you get the least light out of the more yellow light that you get. So the lower that number is, the least lumens are coming out of the LED. Right in the middle of all that is called warm white, soft white. That's the nice light that's coming down in my hand right now. This is 3000 Kelvin. These are LEDs above, and actually it's these LEDs that I have above me right here. So it's a nice warm light. So my choice on this would maybe a 100 watt equivalent or a 75 watt equivalent would probably be really good for this fixture. And in an A19, if you've got to go up to the A20, you can do that too, because we just saw we can get it in here without a problem. And the other thing is 3000 Kelvin, and make sure it's dimmable. That's going to be very important for you.
Well, somebody else had to learn them, and I figured he was the best one for the job.
Well, I feel all right about it, and it's, you know, there's definitely a lot to learn. You know, it's tough, but it's pretty fun, pretty interesting.
Pulling out a point now, and then he will blend in the weld.
You know, we spend a half hour here, an hour there, every other day or so.
Now we're going to heat them up again and actually forge a leaf, but first we got to do a little hand work on them. And he's done basically all the leaves we've done. It's just getting more time and getting him doing it. It's going to happen because I want to go on vacation. I'd like to see the knockoffs that they make in China. I think ours are better.
Let's get into metal finishes now. If you are on the HandmadeInVermont.com website, look over in the red tabs with the pictures in them over there. You're going to see a Finishes Help Guide tab. Open that up for me. It's going to be a video there of me talking to you guys about the differences in Hubbardton Forge finishes, how they can look on different types of forging. I'm going to be referencing a chart just down below. So scroll down a little bit. You're going to see a chart. You can click on that chart. So you can click on dark smoke. You can click on soft gold. Doesn't matter. Big page will pop up showing you lots of different things in that finish. You can go back to the chart and you'll notice there's letters A's on them, letter B's on some of those things, and that's going to be showing you this range of variants that you can expect to see on different translucent finishes, but I'll talk about all of that in the video, okay? Okay, showroom. Our showroom in Vermont has over 400 Hubbardton Forge fixtures. This is the biggest showroom in the world of Hubbardton Forge. No other showroom is like this. Hubbardton Forge doesn't even have their own showroom. They use this one. What's on display? We have a great tab on that. And those same red tabs, you're going to see a what's on display page. So open that up. It's going to show you everything we have on display, and including which finish, which shade, all of those things, and what kind of glass it's on there. We're open every day except Sunday, 11 to 6. I'm here every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have an amazing clearance center. Clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. It's returns, discontinued stuff, showroom samples. You have to come here to use it. Can't call us or email us about it, but it's definitely worth coming in to look at if you're in Vermont. Plus you want to use the showroom anyway because there's just so much great stuff here to see. Our number in Vermont, 802-446-2400. You can email us 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Love to answer emails, and it's sales@HandmadeInVermont.com. So when you order from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is going to be free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. No tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont. And we're the only dealer with 90-day returns, no restocking fee. Nobody else does that. Some larger items are going to be non-returnable. It's going to be really important that you are looking at the fixture on that page and kind of scroll down under the description. It'll tell you if that is the case. And that's usually for really big, giant, huge fixtures, mostly that go out on pallets. Okay, that's it. Rush program. Let's talk about that. So rush program, Hubbardton Forge generally takes about 3 to 4 weeks to go out the door. That's production time before your transit time. You always have to add that on too. We offer a rush program that takes you from that 3 to 4 weeks down to a little under 2 weeks. It's a very small addition per line item. So if you have like 1, 2, 3 items, like let's say 3 or 4 outdoor sconces, and they're all the same size and they're all the same finish, that's one line item. So it's very inexpensive to rush those kind of things. Don't be afraid to email us and ask about that. Okay, so that's really it. If you guys have any other questions, let us know. We would love to see you in our showroom sometime. And thanks for stopping in.